Hi, sorry for the delay, but here we go. I'm Kimberly Cowart, and I'm Linda's daughter, one of her daughters. Everyone is back there. And no, that's her daughter. Wow, what a curveball, but here we are. Amazing to have everybody find us and make it today. So thank you so much for coming out and putting up with our last minute changes. And thank you to this lovely church who accommodated us at the very, very, very last minute. So there are programs back on the table. I think, unfortunately, we're going to probably end up skipping the release of the balloons. And we'll see what happens. But we'll just kind of follow along the program up until the point of Jared speaking, and then I'll get us after that. So these kind of services, and as I've been thinking about that, and celebrations of life are really for us and for the living, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It allows us to engage in ritual, which is very important in healing for us. And peace can be found in remembering and honoring people that we love. So today is a call of worship and celebration of Linda Healy. And we've come together for a couple of reasons. First, to celebrate her life. And we all made the conscious choice and, well, quite frankly, some effort to get here, because I woke up this morning and thought, really? This is what's happening today? So thanks for pushing through and joining us. Second, we come together to mourn our loss. And I think it's important to remember that grief is actually an expression of love. It is not an act of selfishness or faithlessness. And so the last reason to come together is to allow our collective love and memory help us transition into acceptance that Linda occupies a new space in our hearts and our lives. It's not easy to transition and heal when we're alone or with people that didn't know Linda. So coming together allows us to start that journey together. It's helpful to know that she was loved by so many, because as we know, nothing is truly lost when someone lives on in our hearts. So I know she's here with us today. So before we go further, I want us to just take a moment. These are hard times. They bring up a lot of feelings and memories. So before we go too much further, let's just take a minute and set an intention to honor Linda today and to carry her in our hearts for the next few hours, and just put everything else aside and just think of Linda. And have that be with us today. So Jennifer is going to go ahead and share the eulogy that she wrote.
People here. I'm going to try to make it through this. It's only one page, thank goodness. Oh, one of the best people I've ever. She was born on March 1st, 1952. She was a military brat, as you know herself. I don't like that, but she told herself that. So, when she was 19, she met my dad, and they brought the 6 of us into this world. Me, Kimberly, Cara, David, Cowart, and Daniel. Unfortunately, Daniel's not with us today. But life was hard. We struggled. We did lots of moving, and there were some really hard times, but there were some really, really good times. Even though life was hard and struggling, it was nothing to have us all piled into Mom and Dad's king-size bed and watching Dukes of Hazzard and Knight Rider and eating brownies or popcorn with honey poured on it. I thought that was one of the best treats ever. And that was a weekly thing. Every Friday night, that's where we would be. And in Shady Dell, I think it was the winter of 83 or 4, I don't know. But everything froze. The water in the toilet froze. The soda pop cans would burst on the shelves because it was so cold. But Mom and Dad made it really good. We brought all the mattresses off the beds and put them all in the living room where there was a big fireplace and put hung curtains over the doorways. And they made it into a big slumber party. And we only really hated it when we had to go to the bathroom because we had to leave the comfort of the living room. But Mom is always good at finding the best whatever in a situation. She would always have all kinds of sayings or quotes. She seemed like she had it saved up in her head for just that occasion. When I was raising my kids, all 7 of my boys, most of which are here tonight, thank you guys. And she would always tell me, she'd say, Jennifer, don't worry, everything is perfect. I'm like, no, Mom, the dishes aren't done. The kids are doing this and that, and Tommy's running up the street and tasting the dirt and blah, blah. And she says, Jennifer, it's perfect. It might be a perfect mess or a perfect whatever, but it's perfect the way it is. Don't try to change it. It's perfect. And that really stayed with me for a long time. Her other favorite one was, it may pass like a kidney stone, but it will pass. I felt like that a lot too. But she was just wonderful. She loved concerts. She loved to go to Oldies Fest. And we drove to Vegas to see Barry Manilow and Neil Diamond. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And she loved to laugh. She loved movies, and when she decided that she liked movies, she'd watch it a lot, which was great because I did the same thing. So we watched the Back to the Future trilogy and anything that would make her laugh. She loved to laugh, and she did not like scary movies at all. She always thought that was so funny because I love scary movies, and so did my dad. And she's like, your dad did that to you, didn't he? And it's like, that's one thing that he did. Because he loves scary movies just like I do too. She hated them. And she would watch some that would get a little bit scary, and she'd say, okay, turn it off, I've seen enough. So we'd turn it off and get another show on. She was just awesome. And I loved how she always had an open mind about anything and everything. If somebody came along and said, oh, there's this new yoga move, try it. It'll make you feel good. She would try it. No questions asked. Okay, I'll try it. And the same thing with food. She loved food. And, she would let me cook for her sometimes. And I'm not the best cook. I'm not the worst cook. I'm not the best. And no matter what, she'd always tell me how much she liked it. That always made me feel really, really good. Mom was just an amazing woman. Sometimes you don't realize how amazing somebody is until they're not there anymore. And, and then even when we knew that her death was going to be, we knew it was coming at some point, but in my mind, it's like, no, that's not going to happen. Mom's going to be fine. She's going to pull through this and everything's going to be great. And she's going to be out there walking in the breast cancer awareness walks and stuff, That's going to be my mom. And she's going to pull through it. She did in a lot of ways. She fought really hard. And, but so I didn't get a chance. I didn't tell her everything I wanted to tell her. But one of her favorite sayings that I loved that she said was that life is like a book. And if you get sad or you get worried or scared, to just wait and then turn the page and see what happens next. You don't just close the book and put it away because something new is just around the corner. But you say, it's just a chapter, turn the page. And sometimes I didn't want to hear that. I was like, no, I don't want to deal with that right now. Tell me what to do now. I don't want to turn the page. Just tell me what to do. She never would, of course. She always said, just turn the page. I've used that a lot in my life. I heard this quote on a movie I was watching. I don't remember the movie now. But it said, give me the courage to dream and the strength to make them real. I thought that's a real good mom quote. Even though mom didn't say it, I thought that's a really good mom. That's something that she would really get behind. And she always like to say too, this time is going to pass anyway, do something good with it. Because I would always tell her, you know, by this date I want to have this done, or I want to be in this position or whatever. She's like, what are you going to do to accomplish that? And I'd say, I don't know. She's like, well, Jen, the time is going to pass anyway, you might as well do something with it. You know, she'd always say, take care of business or business will take care of you. And she's so smart. I hope at some point I can be as smart as she was. And Cara told me this quote about a week ago, and I thought this was really relevant to mom. She said, comparison is the thief of joy. And I thought, you know, how appropriate that is in life and in everything. So.
Number 4 of 6. And wanted to give everybody sort of a window into what my experience with my mom. In 2018, I got accepted to a program in North Carolina, and as soon as I got accepted, my mom told me that she was moving with me. She didn't ask me. She didn't. It was just, Kim, I'm coming with you. I'm going to help you with Charlotte. And we moved to North Carolina. Come on, here, it's okay. Prior to that, when Mimi's my grandma had passed away, my mom moved in with Charlotte and I. So we already were spending every day together, and Charlotte and my mom had a very close relationship. Yes. So we moved to North Carolina in 2019, and a few months after we moved there, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she went through some procedures to try to take care of it. She went through some therapy to try to take care of it. And it got to be a bit too much. And with it just being us there, she decided she didn't want to go through therapy anymore. She just wanted to focus on having a good quality of life. So she just dove head into acting, which I know she had done that when we were younger, but she had kind of gotten away from that. And if I heard the word celebration one more time, I thought I was just going to lose it. But she was all about her cricket and her vinyl and making stuff. She just wanted to bring joy to other people. Everything, it was never about doing things or making things for herself. It was wanting even strangers. The woman who shaved her head when she started going bald from chemo, she made a bag for her, and just, she always wanted to do things to make other people happy. she was healthy and happy for a long time. And then it came back. And good for a while, and then it was sudden, it was fast, and we all thought we were going to have more time. It didn't turn out that way. But I really just want to express my gratitude to my family for putting this together and for everybody who's here to show their love for our mom. I want to thank my sister Cara for being such a support for our mom as she was sick. And Bob, you guys came through when it was needed the most, and it meant a lot. A lot. So, Charlotte is going to sing a song that she and my mom really loved, right? Okay. Do we need to roll with it? Okay. Should we take it down? Yeah, just hold it.
I have to say goodbye, remember me, don't want to leave you behind. Only then if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing my secret song to you each night we all fall. Remember me. Though I have to travel far, remember me. Did you hold me here so goodbye? Know that I love you, but I can't forget so
Thank you. I don't know if I can do this. Can you do it? No, I don't.
Not a push.
Okay. I think it's gonna stay.
Yeah. Good morning to you too. I love vigil. Does this work? Is that okay? Mike's not on.
Mike's not on.
Time out, Cara.
It's your mic.
Just speak loudly, you're okay.
I don't speak loudly.
No, you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Is that okay? Is that too loud now?
Right there, perfect.
How long has this thing been on? I turned it on in the beginning. Beautiful. You want to take the photo? All right. I'm happy to have you. I'm Jared. The upper middle of 6.
Smiling.
Thank you. Is that Danica?
Yeah.
I know it's Danica.
I hear you should say thank you.
Thank you, Danica. Oh, it's working well now. Oh, daughter, what do we do here? No problem. Picture? Oh, there's a big one of it down there, right there. Thank you. I've drawn it myself. They're not my words entirely, but for many of you know that I can't read my own handwriting. So bear with me. Behind her eyes, you read it.
What?
Behind her eyes, there's curtains. Sure.
This doesn't mean I can read his handwriting any better. Behind her eyes, there's curtains, and they've been closed to hide the flames. She knows the future is burning, but she can smile just the same. And though her mood is fine today, soon she'll be parting ways. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong where you feel free. Feel the path of every day, which you are taking. Fill the air above, a pool of blue sky. Fill the air up with love, all black with starlight. Fill the sky. You're going to, see the path out by the moon for you to walk on. See the waves on distant shores awaiting your arrival. Dream the dreams of others. You'll be no one's rival. We're gonna get through this yet. And wherever you've gone and wherever you might go, I don't seem faint. Today just disappeared. Your lights reflected now.
Reflected from afar. We were but stones, their light made us stars. And wherever you've gone, and wherever we might go, it don't seem fair. You seem to write it here. Your light reflected now, reflected from afar. We were but stones, your light made us stars. Your conscience has departed. Our hearts ache with a new fear. Though we all know if it is born, then it will die. Even dying. That all living things die. Our pain is not eased. I look forward to my fear evolving to see what becomes. Standing like a statue, chin of stone over its flame, and though her mind is far today, there's a fear that soon be parted ways. It's a new chapter for all of us. Her patience, compassion, love, and willingness, for the most part, for the right price, which is negotiable with our mother, never was denied. Thank you for my life.
Okay. I'm just gonna project because I can do that. Well, I'm sure whoever else is coming up next is taller than me, so you don't, yeah. So Evelyn, if you'll take your blocks down there for a moment, that'd be great. And so now we'll just turn the time over to those who would like to share memories of Linda. And I believe that Gary has been kind enough to agree to start us off. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It all started a long, long time ago in a place not so far away. Actually, for me, it just started just down the street on 21st South. I've been divorced. I've been in a relationship. The gal had just left. I was buying a trailer down in West Valley. I was a great life. Learning how to live my great life and get all positive and everything. And I went on a date with a friend of Linda's. It was the most amazing date because this woman, I really looked up to her because I've been in great life for like 2 years. She was like just way up there. Finally asked her out and on a horrible date. I was totally myself. Not my grounded self that I am now. So the gal goes, you know what? I don't think we're gonna go out again, but hey, you know what? Here, meet my friend Linda. She's really cool. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, Dave, you'll remember this because it was right after your wedding. It was the worst haircut she had ever received in her entire life. I swear, I thought she was a dyke. Didn't like men at all. Just the way she looked. Wasn't the way she was. Well, we became friends. She gave me your number and she said, oh, hey, I'm gonna be moving out to Grantsville. And I was like, well, okay, I can help you with that. And then she went out to Grantsville and we looked at that and said, nope, can't live here. And I said, hey, you know what? I've got an extra room. Why don't you come live with me? You can rent my extra room. So that's how it started. We became friends. We became more than friends. And then one day, she was like, there, and it's like, you know what? I think I love you. Oh, yeah, you do. I love you too. Hey, I got this crazy idea. How about we get married? This is like 6 months after we met. I was like, hey, yeah, I've always wanted to get married. She says to me, she says, I've always wanted to get married on leap day. Because, my birthday is the 1st and leap day only happens once every 4 years. And I said, that's great. Then we only have to celebrate once every 4 years. She goes, well, let's do something crazy, like get married in Hawaii on leap day. And so we did. And some of you were there. Some of you weren't born yet. That was just absolutely amazing. That's one thing with Linda. Once we met and we became friends, we could just talk forever about anything and everything. I mean, we'd start with the weather and end up with politics or spiritualism or any number. We could talk about everything. And we did that always all the way up to the day she died. We were married for 5 years. We were together in that marriage for 3 of those years. The other 2 years, it was like, well, you know what? We really love each other, but we're really not going to stay married, but we're just going to stay married because the benefits are really good. I was with the union, so she got really good health benefits, and I got flight benefits. Well, I still got to go to fly to Hawaii on my birthday every year. That brings up another thing, too. But with Linda, we had this unspoken understanding that, I'll go to work, and then you can go on a trip. We never seemed to have the time together, except for at the very beginning when we first got married. That was before Grandpa got sick and Mimi needed help. So then we didn't get to spend much time together. But you all know that stories. We lived through them. But the thing was that I would go to work and she'd go on a trip. The same thing happened this time. I went to work and she took the trip. I miss her every day. It's so hard because she really truly was the closest thing to a best friend. Talk about anything and everything. It didn't matter. I didn't have to filter myself with her. It was like, oh, you're just going to your Asperger's. And she would say that to me and realize that. And it was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But that was Linda. She could call me up and she could talk about all of her dreams of, oh, I'm going to have this RV and I'm going to start this RV thing and it'll be for women. And she'll talk to me for like 2 hours about that or about her crafts and crit cut. Do I like crit cut? No. Do I know anything about crit cut other than what she told me? No, not at all. But that was Linda and that was our relationship. We could just talk. And hopefully you have something like that in your life where you can just be yourself and talk. We stayed friends. My life changed. Great life was great, and it took me to a certain point. But when Linda came into my life, she opened up possibilities that were absolutely incredible. flying around like we're rich. And then when we did move out to Grantsville, and Jared, you'll remember this, when you fixed your car and the tire came off with driving. And like, okay, yeah. And she was really tired. And so she had an accident and said, you know what, I think I can't live out here anymore because I'm working at the airport and this is really too much. It's like, okay, well, why don't you move into town? And you know what she did? She moved into a retirement community right across from my mother. And so there I had the two most important women in my life, just a parking lot, walk apart from each other. So I'd go, I visit my wife, and I'd walk across the parking lot and say, hi, Mom, what do you do? And so it was really like we were rich, living on a blue-collar income. Because we had a country house in Grantsville, and we had this city apartment, and it was just wonderful. It really was. It was a wonderful time of living and just enjoying. And that's why I named this Linda Healy's Celebration of a Life Well Lived. She lived her life, and she lived her life for herself, and she lived her life for her kids, and she lived her life for her friends. And that's just the way that she was, and that's the way that she did everything. And that's the way she continues to do everything, and she keeps on touching every one of us. Which brings me back to my point, which my life changed. Went to Great Life, that was great. Met Linda, that was absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best things that came out of Great Life is meeting Linda. We never really, I have to admit that, we never fell in love, but we had a love that will endure till the end of time. She got me into it. And that is where life changed even more, where I met most of my friends. Two of them were here in Sandra. But I've never met them if it had been for your mom. And then for Linda. And say, hey, why don't you do this over here? And then supported me in everything. I love that woman, and I still do. And I'm so glad that she left me with all of you. She even made me a great grandpa when I was 38. Great grandpa 38. I got to be in part of AARP. I'm not even old enough to be in our AARP now. I'm 52. But I had that AARP card. So much fun stuff came from Linda and my life with Linda. That didn't end and still hasn't ended, and it continues to go on. Now I invite you to come on up and enjoy the celebration of her life that she lived, and she lived with you and for you and through you. So come on up. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble about Linda. Oh, no, I still got one more thing. My mother died last year, and I went through all of the videos and all the pictures and all the rest of that sort of stuff. And I figured when I was doing my mother, I might as well do Linda's too, because when I ended up with a lot of her videos and things like that. And so if you want to see some of these kids when they were younger, and one of my favorite things is a video that I named Butt Crack Christmas, because somebody set up the video camera and then everybody kept on bending over in front of me. I'm having that a little bit today with the Zoom going on. But that is actually on YouTube. It has 20 different videos, and you can watch them. And it's under Cowart Healy Home Movies. And it's just a playlist with all those wonderful things. So if you ever get lonely, want to hear Linda and see her, she's there. And she's there for all of us. And one more thing. She she loved music, and she got really creative. You know, when CDs came out, you could actually do a mix. She used to have mixtapes. Lots of those tapes. I don't have any of those tapes anymore. Wish I did, but all those went with her. But she did leave me a CD, and it was really funny because it was all about Linda. And there are some songs on there singing about Linda and how I'm with another woman now. And oh, I'm just dreaming about Linda. I found that the other day, and it was such a treat because we made mixtapes for each other, we make CDs for each other, and having that. And thank you. Come on up.
I'll go next. That doesn't work anyway. Thanks, Gary. You've always been a character.
Not a character you like.
I'm Jonathan. I'm Linda's second oldest grandson, son of Jennifer. So, there's so many memories with Linda that I have because she was a big part of my life through a lot of the younger years of my life. But I'll only share a few, and a few that's really still impacting me to this day. Despite my demeanor, I try to be uplifting and kind of just energetic, thanks to her. Because there was one comment she made when I was younger. I kind of just have a monotone, and she said, "You need to sound happy, or people don't want to be around you." Which I'm okay with because I'm not a big pizza person, but she's like, "You need to sound negative when you talk. You need to listen, to your voice." And so, with voicemails and when I leave voicemails, I try to sound happy. I do my best, but anyways, that's something that I'll carry the rest of my life because I do have a really monotone. And thanks to her, I realized it at a young age. And another thing that I'm not very politically correct, but one thing that Linda always focused on is she wanted everybody around her to be happy, and she wanted everybody to feel welcome around her, whether she liked them or not. And there was one time she got really offended, and my mother mentioned oldie's best, and she took me to him every year, which I think her and her mother, Mimi, I love oldies. It's great music, but aside from that, it brings back so many memories. We used to have a cabin, Christmas Meadows, up outside of Evanston, Wyoming, and Mimi would take us up there, and we would just listen to John Portland all the way up there. But my grandmother, Mama Bear, she loved Oakley's voice. Thanks to her, I love the voice. They're fantastic. But anyways, we were at an oldies fest one time, me and her, and we were walking around, and she had bought something. I don't specifically remember what it was, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cheap." She says, "Don't ever say cheap to me again. It makes me feel like I'm cheap. Say inexpensive." So every time when I'm talking to somebody, ever since that day, I make sure not to use the word cheap. I use the word inexpensive because I definitely want to make somebody feel like a POS for being cheap. Which, I'm cheap, so that's okay. Those are a couple great memories I had with her. Also, she conned me into doing auto trader with her a long time ago, which I thought was a great deal. I got like $2 out of it. Some hot chocolate. Drive around with her and wrap up magazines and put them in shelves at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was fantastic. Loved it. But it doesn't matter. I got to spend some great quality time with her. We had a lot of good time. But aside from all that, we lost somebody really great. She, despite my falling out with a lot of people, it's not uncommon. I did reach out to her a couple of years ago. let her know that I really loved her. She's been a really positive impact on my life. Something that a lot of people don't really realize and notice is because of one person, we have a lot of great people in this world that's going to continue to impact our world positively. We have all my aunts and uncles and my mother, and they're all really great people. We got a couple doctors in the family, two amazing musicians, ripple effects, all caused by, obviously, prior to her, but her. We have my mom. My mom's one of the most compassionate people I've ever met in my life. She can have nothing left, and she will give you what she has. My Uncle Jared is the same. He's raised me since I was a little kid. I have my Uncle Jared to thank for a lot of things, and the people, obviously, the woman he married, Tiffany, they took me in. They've done a lot of great things for me. We have Cara, who is also a really amazing person, has a really big part. And she has a lot to offer this world. Kimberly and David, and all of her kids bring a lot to this world, small and big. And people don't realize it, but it's there. And then beyond them, they had kids. They had me. I try to be bashful, but I bring a lot to this world. I make people laugh. I keep people honest, and I can be a really big asshole to shut people down. I have all my brothers. Jay's a really great kid, really great man these days. He's taking on a lot at a really young age. And beyond them, then we have her great grandchildren, which is amazing that, along with Mimi, she got to stick around and see and meet a lot of them and be around as part of their lives. Specifically Charlotte mainly. I know Charlotte will always remember all of it. But all of our kids are brilliant. David's had some really brilliant kids, and I mean, between him and his wife, we're going to have some great musicians and doctors, and who knows, but we definitely got some good genes, and my two girls are truly amazing, and my son has got one of the best personalities I've ever seen out of a 1-year-old, good and bad. So we can definitely mourn her, but she wasn't the type of person the first time I ever heard celebration of life was with her. Like, she was not about being negative, she wasn't about being sad. She wanted everybody to just be happy. Even though somebody died, she wanted to, why are you crying? Let's be happy. Let's celebrate their life. They brought a lot into this world, and they had a lot to offer, and they still do. And so the way I look at things, in a lot of ways, in a positive ways, thanks to Linda. While everyone's crying and everyone's being sad about it, just try to remember what kind of person she was, and that's not what she wants. She wants everyone to be happy. She wants everyone to celebrate. Go home. Yeah. Whatever. Whatever you need to do, but that's the type of person she was to me. That's how I remember her. Anyways, on another thing, I don't know if she ever actually bought one. Maybe one of my aunts and uncles did tell me, but she always wanted a Segway. Did she ever get a Segway? We were at the Oldies Fest over at the baseball stadium one year, and she rode one around for like an hour. They had to tell her to get off of it. They're like, you're just trying it out. She's like, I know. It was fantastic. But anyways, I like thanks everybody that came and found us last minute. Yeah, we tried setting across the street. We needed Mary Poppins over there. We should go on Broadway. It was amazing. We were in the sky. So anyway, everyone have a great time. Thank you.
I'll pretend like this works. I'm Dave. I'm Linda's youngest son, my youngest child. And Jennifer talked about the challenging times we had in life. It's true, and it was a challenge. But one thing I'll always remember about my mom is that she could find beauty in the simplest things. One of my more recent visits, I went to North Carolina in Dunn, and she went to one of her favorite stores, which is the dollar store, and picked up a bunch of cheap flowers, which were inexpensive, sorry. And that didn't really, weren't really much. But she took something like that, just assembled them, and added petal after petal of these flowers to make beautiful bouquets of flowers. And that really, I think that's how she lived her life. Taking things that were maybe had a little left to be desired and make the best of it, make them beautiful. I have so many fond memories of my young childhood. To kind of depict what I'm saying, that even though we were poor, probably the troublemakers on the block and the street, I didn't really know it for a long time. It was always just an adventure. Even though it was cold, I might have fond memories of when the heater would come on, running and grabbing a blanket and covering it up over the heater. And that was fun. And it was, she got mad because I took all the heat for going under her blankets, and she turned on a hair dryer as she read dirty novels. I don't know that they were dirty. They always had like cat naked men on them. Like stallions and stuff.
You have.
And she just found joy in people and in things, and then things that were simple. I'll never forget when we lived in Magna. I was very young, and we had change. I don't know why I had change, but I had pennies, and I was walking ahead of her by a ways. Maybe she was at checkout, but anyway, I was throwing pennies on the ground, and come to find out she was picking up these pennies that I was throwing on the ground, and she told me how great it was that people leave pennies on the ground, and that's fine. And every now and then I still throw pennies on the ground because people like her find joy in that. And I love my mom, and I love all my siblings very much, and we have a lot to be thankful for. She gave us a lot to be thankful for. Though times could have sometimes been less challenging, she gave us a great foundation and taught us how to get through the hard times. And we do have a room full of just wonderful people here. Thank you so much for loving and supporting my mom. I also want to take the opportunity to really thank Jared and Tiffany for putting all of this together and orchestrating this, and everyone that helped them. And I'm so happy that we were able to come today.
I'm Andrea, and I know Linda from Delta, and she's absolutely my best friend. Helped me through a lot. We helped each other. Your story with the flowers was incredible because she taught me that. I make awesome arrangements now with inexpensive flowers, turning them into Hobby Lobby flowers. And a lot of great memories and hearing all the sharing, and I experienced that with her too. And just a wonderful person, and she just had a way of, when things were so extreme where you just didn't know what to do, she would offer different ways to view things that I would have never thought of. And just amazing, and I miss her, love her, and thank you for everyone who's sharing.
Hello. Some of you know me and some of you don't. I'm Alex. I'm Jennifer's ex-husband. I see a lot of old memories. I see a lot of new memories. And I also see a lot of memories that are in between. I know I've had some interactions with Jared. He helped me fix my car. Told me about his eye. I always remember that eye. It scares the crap out of me. You know, and I'm always worried about the shed in the backyard if, you know, fire's gonna get caught or something like that. And, you know, I was there for a good portion of most of the children's lives of Linda's. I got to see her grandchildren grow up. I got to raise some of them. It's been a very big privilege for me. Try every day to do them right. Not always, but I try. And, you know, one thing that Linda kind of taught me was going through some of the hard times that me and Jennifer did. You know, she took me in and I spent 1.5 years in the basement, which was pretty fun for the most part, but you know, rocks are interesting. I'll leave it at that. She inspired me a lot. One time she bought me a Beanie Baby that was a eagle, and I actually still have it. And she told me that I reminded her of the bald eagle. He was always there watching over everybody, who's trying to take care of everything, and it's the only one who stands up on the rock, just watching over, trying to pick apart the things that are wrong and the things that are right. She taught me how to use rocks to just pass in there and let them go. She taught me how to be happy with myself, which is kind of hard for me to do if anybody knows who I am. So I'm just gonna say, just everybody remember, you know, Linda did a lot of great things for a lot of people, and a lot of people tend to forget about that. You know, try to remember the experiences that you've had with her, how the things that she tried to teach us. I mean, at one point she had me touching my elbow with my nose, and I didn't know what the was going on.
And tap you on the shoulder.
Yeah, somehow that healed you, made you all better. Not a clue. But I tried, because she believed in it so much, and you know, some of us are too young to remember the things that she did, but just try putting your elbow to your nose and tap your shoulder at the same time and walk like a duck. Thank you.
I'm Angie Cowart. I'm Linda's daughter-in-law, Dave's wife. I just wanted to say, listening to everything everyone has to say, everyone has a very different view of Linda. And when I first met Dave, we were in 7th grade. I've known him for quite a while, but when wasn't until high school that we actually had a relationship. I remember the first time I met Linda. I hate saying this, but I remember walking into Mimi's house and she was just like, wasn't scary, but just overly excited to see me. And I've never had someone that excited to see me. Really excited person. I'm kind of shy. It takes a minute for me to come out, but I'll never forget that first interaction because every time Linda came to see us, it was that same, Angie, hey Linda, I'm glad you had a good flight. Didn't matter where we were. This last time that we saw Linda, she actually came to see us in Germany. We were getting ready to move back to the States, and she wasn't super happy, Linda, but she was happy after a 13-hour flight. It's a long haul. And she still was super happy when we picked her up, so excited to be there. But the thing that I will always remember with Linda, because it's just been my relationship with Linda, it's all the adventures that we had. We have been fortunate enough to live all over the place, and because of Linda's job at Delta, we were fortunate enough to be able to come back and visit. My two girls are 12 months apart, and while Dave was going through medical school, it was not the easiest, but Linda should always come. He would call, Mom, can you come help Angie with the kids and the dogs so they can get back to Salt Lake? Yeah, I'll be there. I never knew when she was going to be there. She would always tell me plans change. And then she could be at the airport and call and say, I'm here. And I'll be like, okay, I guess I'll be there in an hour. Hold on. But she was always there. And we always had a great adventure together. We drove around a lot together. She sat on the couch and told me about all of her great ideas that I absolutely love. And we would just smile and talk. Stuff I didn't even know existed. But Linda, she always was very positive about everything. And that is something I think that is very hard to find in people these days. But Linda was always happy and she was always positive. And it was always an adventure with her. Anyway, I just wanted to come up and just share my gratitude for Linda in my life. And my kids' lives. Been closer longer, but she always made it there, and she had such an impact on our lives. And I'm just grateful for this family and the love. One thing I always tell me, the amazing thing about this family is it doesn't matter where anyone is. You guys always accept and always love, and that is what Linda was about. Always accept and love no matter what. And that's what she was. So I just wanted to say that. Did you want to say something, June? Okay. Anyways, thank you.
Hey, I'm Bob. Just wanted to come up and express some appreciation for Linda. A little bit where Angie's coming from and Alex is coming from. We're kind of a special group of people that have been married into this gigantic family. And she's just been full of life and full of energy right from the start. You know, about 25 years ago, chased me out of the house with a 2x4. And 1x2. No, it might have been. You know, and to the times where you know, time we were kind of trying some things out, taught her how to smoke CBD. You know, to the times where it took us 7 hours to get home from the airport because we just didn't really care where we were. know, sort of just go to store after store, you know, Dollar Tree after Dollar Tree, playing around with things and looking at things. You know, one of the amazing things about her too was we would try and get a hold of her and she, hey, I'm in London or I'm in New York or, you know, just pretty just an amazing lady that way. And
Can you please move your butt?
you know, we did a lot of crafts together. It was kind of one thing, but we did a lot of crafts together.
Please don't stand in front of the camera.
There were no mess ups, you know, and that's such a kind of lived her life too. It's you know, it wasn't about some checklist or finish line that she was trying to get to. It's just about, you know, trying this thing out, you know, doing this craft. And when you do the craft, if it has ugly lines all over it, mess ups, that was okay. That's just as your character. And that's how she always was. Like, even all the way up, all the way to the end, she was just full of like all these, you know, just plans that she wanted to do and all these things, you know, she wanted to teach. And she definitely talked about the flowers a lot, you know, at the Dollar Tree, take them out and combine them and stuff and makes them a lot nicer. And you know, and that's just kind of who she was, just like an experiencer, a teacher, a doer, a sharer, a enlightener. And I'm really grateful to her. You know, she created all you kids that I love so much. And, yeah, thank you for having me part of your family. I love it. Yes.
I'm grateful to have a place to share it with everybody and contribute to Linda. Linda and I met. Gary, tell me if I'm right. Was it Denver the first time I met her when we were in Denver? Mm-hmm. So Gary and Linda and my husband and I were roommates in a hotel for a week at the Children of Light conference in Denver. And then coming home, she found out she wasn't going to be able to fly home. Her and Gary were, I don't remember, you know, for whatever reason. So I had a little Honda Accord. So Linda and I are in the back seat, and Gary and my husband are in the top for 12 hours, or 10 hours. We didn't start talking the whole way home, and we were best friends after that. I saw Linda as a smorgasbord. She just had such a voracious appetite for so many things, but once she loved it, her passion would just share it with everybody. I think that's what the whole elbow nose thing was. I think it was the tapping technique is what I think it was being referred to there, but she just had a love of so many things. And it was fun to hear what her next thing was that she was really loving. And by the way, I haven't met some of you. Charlotte, where are you? Your grandma talked about you all the time. She did. She talked about you and Kim, and she was so excited to move to North Carolina and be able to be a part of their lives in a different way and in a closer way. And from the minute I met her, I just felt like she was family, and then I got to meet Mimi, and then I got to meet Daniel and Jennifer, and they were just family. I just felt like I'd always known them. They just felt like they were supposed to be a part of my life. And it's right before she moved to North Carolina, so 3 or 4 years ago, I don't remember the timeline, but she said, I have a Christmas present for you. She goes, but I want to tell you about personal things. And so we went to lunch. It took us a couple of weeks to go to lunch. Both of our lives, it was always hard to find the time that we could both, you know, there was always something. And anyway, she said, I want to give you a plane ticket to anywhere in the world, and I'll go with you, and we'll just go have an adventure. And And I said, oh, I already know, Greece or Spain, or Greece and Spain, if that's an option. And she wanted to go do the Mamma Mia tour in Greece. And so we were all excited about that. And then it wasn't that long after that she moved to North Carolina, and she goes, I'm not gonna forget, we're still gonna do it, I promise. It's gonna be a little bit further out there than I thought. And then Gary called me a few weeks ago and he said, well, you should wait to get Linda call. And I didn't call her because my husband and I were moving and my life was crazy and I was contracted around my own personal shit. And I didn't get her called. Sad about that. I'm really sad about that I didn't get to have one last moment with her. Even though we didn't have a ton of interaction, when we did, she was important to me. I loved her so much. I love you so much, Gary. Daniel, I was so excited. I'm sure I know you're watching this. I was so excited to give you a great big hug and tell you how much I love you. And I'm just really grateful to hear from Kim and Jared and the rest of the kids that I haven't met, because I did love her mom a lot and she was an important part of my life. So thank you.
Sorry to kind of, but since we're at the big graces of a church that we asked 5 minutes before we came in here. I'm gonna have to move us along a little. So there's two options at this point. Thank you so much, first of all, for everyone sharing your memories. And Jared really wanted to see the balloon. So there's two options now. You're welcome to stay and have some food and continue to share memories at the table and enjoy each other's company. If you want to step outside with us and take a balloon with you on your way out, and we'll just have a brief moment out there reflecting and then releasing balloons, and then you can come in and have some food and continue to share memories. So thank you so much for being here with us today, and everything. Not rushing anyone out, just moving us to the next phase. So thank you.
I know you guys are all getting ready to go do stuff, but there's a few things we all have to talk about this. Linda was crazy. She was adventurous. She survived Hurricane Camille in Mississippi as a kid. They traveled all over the United States with Grandpa and Mimi as children.
You there, Daniel?
They hid the keys in the cereal box as children.
Hey, guys.
Oh, there you are. I love you, sweetie. I was so hoping I was going to give you the biggest hug.
3 brothers.
And I was hoping to go to Village Inn and have some pie.
Fried coconut cream was on my mind, I tell you.
Brian.
It was too much of a logistical nightmare. It's too hard.